So thank you for joining me here today. Do I just call you? Do I call you JB, Mr. B, Mr. J? JB out. No,
You
I'm
just call
kidding.
me either Dirty Dog JB or just JB.
Dirty
Either works.
dog, dirty dog, the dirty dog. JB here, man. That beard though, man, you are growing that thing out. Woo.
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
2 years untouched, just letting it grow, huh?
Yeah.
Man, man. Got that look. I'm just starting to now try to make it work. So, but looks, you look like a wild animal. So again, thank you for making time here today. I know we were gonna do yesterday. I had some issues, so we moved it to today, earlier in the day here for 6 o'clock. So again, thank you for joining me here
Yeah.
today on the Beyond the Crown podcast. There's a couple of things that I want to talk to you about here today, so the people can kind of hear about it as well. So you are the son of the owners of Crown of Maine
Yeah.
Wrestling. So in a way, you're like the prince, right? You're the
Yeah.
Prince CMW here. So when I went ahead to go ahead and purchase CMW, did they talk to you about that? Did you have any say? Did you have anything? Did you hear about it, or did it kind of just happen and then you heard about it afterwards?
It kind of just happened, and then I heard about it afterwards.
Mm.
I think it was a meeting that I wasn't able to attend. So there was one day I just came downstairs, and my parents basically just came to me and told me that they bought the company.
They bought the company. How did you feel? Because you were already you made some shows already. You watched the
Yeah.
shows and were helping out in any way you could before that. What was your thoughts when that happened and they purchased the company?
Honestly, I thought it was really cool because I finally get to be a part of wrestling itself, and then my parents own something to do with wrestling,
Mm.
and especially owning a wrestling ring in my yard, it's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. A lot of us are jealous of that you
Yeah.
have that fucking ring, right? And where would my career be? My career be if I had a ring in my yard? You know what I mean, to be able to hone my craft and to tighten up on everything.
Yeah.
And then, did you have like were you interested in performing and being a wrestler at that time, or did that come like later on?
Well, I've been really interested. It was just hard at that time with the way I was in school as well as doing football. Which since football's over with and I'm almost graduated school, then my full time is just going to be working and wrestling.
Working and wrestling, and some of the best wrestlers, right, come from when this is all they do, right?
Yep.
They're some of the best wrestlers in the world. And I was talking to actually I was listening to Per Sessions podcast with Tyler, Dylan, Levi, and them over there. So they were talking about how they couldn't do that where wrestling was all they did. Some of the I guess some of the best wrestlers in the world, this is all they did before they blew up, was wrestle every single weekend. They were talking about a guy named Brick Savage and how his career. They were looking him up on Cage Match, and the first couple of years he had like 11 matches, right? He had like, and then it took off like 2004, 2005, 2006, or 2004, 2005. This guy had like 11 matches in a month. He had over 293 matches in 4 or 5 years. Like, this guy was
Damn.
just working. Just he had more
Yeah.
matches in 1 month than I did in the first like 5 years of my career. You know what I'm saying? So it's some people are made like that when they take something serious. Like you were doing the whole football thing,
Yeah.
and which is quite interesting because a lot of professional wrestlers have gone from football to professional wrestling. Now, for you transitioning from football over to wrestling, how has that transition been? And do you see a lot of similarities between football and professional wrestling?
With some of the moves, they're kind of similar with like your athletic stance when you're about to do something, your foot placement here and there, all of that. And the transition's actually been pretty good. It's helped me keep myself in shape and keep my body working.
Absolutely. Professional wrestling being an art form, right? You're creating art
Yeah.
live, in a ring, surrounded by people who are watching you, and you got to do it in one take, right? Just one take. In front of everyone. I've had some good matches. I've had some bad matches. I've had some good moments, and I've had some bad moments. But it was all like it's live. Like there's no going back and editing, taking it out. It's one and done in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
So you've taken your bumps, right? You've taken your bumps. Could you take us back to the time you took your first bump?
Oh gosh. I think I was downstate at one of the MPW shows because they were renting out our ring, and it was Nakoma and I can't remember, Louis Leon. I think that's what his name
Hmm.
was. They were teaching me, Thomas, and my sister how to take bumps, and we were holding onto the ropes like this, and just dropping down and just smacking. That
Hmm.
was my first ever time, and it was kind of nerve wracking, but at the same time, I was just trying to do it as best as I can.
Well, you say nerve wracking, but what do you mean nerve? Was it the people, like people watching you do this, or was it like you mentally doing that move?
It was sometimes it was the people around, but at the same time, it was because I didn't want to accidentally slam my head because I wasn't used to doing that.
That's right. They'll tell you to tuck that chin,
Yeah,
tuck that chin. I've seen people take bumps and just straight up smack the back of their heads, and
yeah,
it it,
Dylan.
it, it takes you for a loop. It really takes you for a loop. Like I've received a couple concussions in a match in a ring. One of them was off the top rope getting drop kicked by Wyatt Holiday actually, and the other one was a simple like scoop slam. I got slammed. I don't know where my head was at, but it hit the back of my head, kind of knocked me for a loop there. So definitely tuck your chin in when it comes to that. So you're doing things. You're seeing wrestling from behind the scenes, and the podcast I had with Eric, and it's not out yet, but it will be. Um, he says because I don't like to end the podcast with like socials. Where can we find you? I don't like doing that. I want like
Yeah,
tips, tricks, hints, motivational, inspirational quotes, things that you could pass on to the next person. Um, and he basically said for new people coming into the business, and I know you watch wrestling,
yeah,
as well. He basically says that if you want wrestling to be ruined for you, then sure you could be a part of professional wrestling because you start to see the behind the scenes more. You start to be more involved with the way the shows are put together, and you're just in it now, right? Do you Has that happened to you where, or maybe it hasn't happened yet, but do you feel like you watch wrestling a little bit differently now that since you've become a part of this than you have before?
oh, definitely. When I went downstate to Bangor to watch the WWE live show for like the holidays, it's it looked just like us. The way they were performing, it just looked same. Like how we script it and how we all do it, it looked the same. And then watching on TV, you can like sometimes just predict what's gonna happen based off knowing how it's scripted. Well, not necessarily scripted, but work to do something.
Yeah, you see it coming.
Yeah,
You see it coming, and then you're like, oh, there it is, and that actually helps out sometimes because when and I was talking to Joey on Joey's podcast about it, where wrestling has things that only make sense in professional wrestling that it won't make sense anywhere, and it won't make sense anywhere else, and you can take that idea and and twist it so when people think this is going to happen next, you twist it and then you don't do that or you do something completely different, right? So keep that in mind for yourself where, oh, I've seen this before. If you're working a match or you see someone working a match and you remember something similar, a professional wrestling, a TV or anything like that, remember that because then you can change the result, the results, right? And
yeah,
that's going to change people's perspective. If you can get one up on the boys and make us be like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming, that's a good thing. That's real good.
yeah.
That's real good. But definitely wrestling is ruined for me. Like I can't really watch it either, um, like that. But the stories are keeping me still
Yeah.
engaged. Um, the girls, I'm watching the ladies a lot more. My wife is a fan of Io Sky. She's a big fan of Io. And I like to watch the girls wrestle. And she calls Bailey grandma for some reason. She says Bailey looks old. So I don't I don't know about that. But what are you looking to do? So listen, it's a lot of work. It could be a lot of work in the business, and and then depending on how far you want to take this, depends on it's gonna alter how you do it, right? And what you do.
Yeah.
So what do you like? What's your goal? Like, are you looking to do this like just something to do, or you looking to maybe possibly do more, maybe travel downstate and be a part of shows down there? Like, what's the short term goal at least for JB?
The short term goal would honestly be just getting in the ring, whether it's up here or anywhere else, and just wrestling and doing the thing that I used to watch as a kid and loved as a kid. 'Cause it's my goal to always been able to do this, and now that I finally get the chance, I want to do it the best I can. I can't hear you.
How deep are you looking to get into wrestling, right? Are you looking to just wrestle for Crown of Maine? Are you looking to possibly take bookings eventually elsewhere? Are you looking to travel? Are you looking to travel out of state? Like, what's it look like in your mind? And I know you just started getting into training and all that, but like, what are you thinking when it comes to that?
For like that, I'd say for long term, I definitely want to be able to get booked outstate and just do whatever I can to continue wrestling and possibly make money for it because it's what I love, and making money for something that you love is just amazing. But whether I do or don't, wrestling is just it.
Mm,
Doing it out of state, yes.
awesome. That's great to hear. Um, again, it's you see a lot of similarities with promotions. Everywhere you go, you see a lot of, and you know, because you've already done traveling. You've already traveled downstate
Yeah.
multiple times. You've been at MPW shows, Limitless shows. You've been behind the scenes. You've done a lot of that. So out of everything you could possibly do, refereeing, commentating, announcing, music, camera work, all that stuff, wrestling is what really grabbed you and what you want to do.
Yeah, for sure.
He said that with a smile. He's like, "Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah." That is really cool. A lot of people get their start from those other things too. You know what I mean, working
Yeah.
sound and whatnot. Um, and since you're training as well, refereeing would be a good place to
Yeah,
get yourself
I'd
involved
love
in.
to. I'd love to ref, honestly. And commentating, I feel like I'd be pretty good at. Me and Tommy J over here just commentating would be pretty fun.
I think it's gonna be fun when we because you know we want to do the commentating for our shows
Yeah,
after the shows are recorded. Um, and we'll find a way to do it at the shows live, so we don't have to wait for like to add the commentary. And I'll talk to
yeah,
Mike and figure out how we can do that because everybody else up, well, not everybody. I know Limitless does it live for the shows. Ring Wars does it as well. Like as the show's happening, they'll do the commentary.
yeah,
So we can figure it out. So we can do that, and it'd be cool to have like to move people around and have. Today we have JB and Tommy J doing a commentary, you know, and then the next show it'll be Santos and whoever else, King and
yeah.
stuff like that. So that's cool. I know I reached out to Mo Tardy, referee Mo, to maybe do something with you guys when he comes up here refereeing like a small little
Yeah,
quote unquote training with you guys because refereeing is such a great way to get in the ring and to really get a feel for how the matches are going, how you guys play an important part of the match. You have to anticipate what's going to happen next so you can be in position. Like there's a lot of things that are very helpful with refereeing that'll translate over to wrestling. So definitely get you in there with Mo so you can work that. Um,
yeah,
I don't think I've seen a referee with a beard as glorious as yours, but I'm sure that they're out there. I'm sure they're out there. So you go out as Dirty Dog, JB, right? So where's we know where the JB comes from. Where does the Dirty Dog come from?
So, watching wrestling as a kid, I loved the Shield. The Shield was like everything to me. So, Dean Ambrose's like finisher is called the Dirty Deed, so that's where I got the dirty from. And then Roman Reigns was called the Big Dog, so that's where I got the dog from.
Okay, okay,
So I kind of just throw two and two together and just threw
pretty
that all
good,
together.
pretty good, pretty good. Where does Seth Rollins fit? No Seth Rollins fits in this at all. No,
Nah, he turned. I like him.
really? Are you more? Were you more of a Ambrose Reigns fan than a?
Yeah, I was more of a yeah.
Yeah, I never got behind Ambrose to be honest. I had a good buddy of mine down in Louisiana. who is always an Ambrose fan. And I was like, I just don't see it, man. I don't see it. I don't see it.
He was a crazy lunatic. It was always fun and funny to watch.
That is true. That is true. That is true. So, the parents running the company. Um, Dirty Dog, JB. You said you, Tommy, your sister were doing. You said Nakoma and Luis Leon down in MPW. So again, you see a lot of similarities in the promotions. They're just like us,
Yeah.
right? We're getting the show together. Everybody, like, concessions are being put together. Merch is being put up. The ring is set up. It all looks the same at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
And then the show goes on, and then that's where things change, right? Because you have
Yeah.
different creative minds behind each show that makes it look different at that point. But for the most part, it's
Yeah.
all the same. It's a brotherhood, and I feel like you might have gotten a little bit of that when you travel, because you start to see the same people. Hey, what's going on? I see, you know.
Yeah.
And they come up here, we go down there. So that's pretty cool. How familiar are you with Maine wrestling? Are you familiar with the Maine wrestling scene and guys from the state here?
More familiar with like meeting the people and getting to know them, but like I kind of stick to watching our wrestling. Oh, I don't really watch much of like Limitless or Let's Wrestle or MPW or anything.
Mm,
I more keep it towards us,
mm,
so I can study what we do and study how we work, so I can put myself into that and try to work good with everybody there.
mm. A lot of the guys that we have up here work at PW, right? So
Yeah.
always a good idea. And I keep my eye on. So today, I'll be honest with you, it was probably the first time I've sat down and really watched the Limitless show on YouTube. I just sat there and just watched the show. I watched Nomi versus the Machine, right? So I
Yeah.
watched that just to kind of see what's. First of all, the crowd is incredible. It's just a huge freaking crowd, and we're not talking about the Colisee, because I don't know how the hell they filled up
Yeah,
the
me
Colisee.
neither.
Where are these people coming from? Where are the fans coming from, dude? Where are they, dude? Where are they? Where the hell are these? I feel like a lot of them are coming from out of state. I swear to God, dude. I swear to God.
For
That's
sure,
wild.
especially where they got like MJF and the Hardys, so people had to
Wow.
come and go
Hell
see.
yeah. I mean, that's one way to sell it out. You get the Hardy
Yeah.
Boys, in there, and it's I've never seen wrestling like this in Maine before. I mean, the biggest thing we had before was like NWA on Fire, which I only know a little bit about because they had like a TV contract. They were on TV for a little bit. I tried to get into that, but I didn't know what the hell it was because it was here, then it wasn't here. IWE, I don't know if you heard of IWE. That was Eric's promotion. No, at the time, when his podcast drops, listen to it. Listen to his
Okay.
podcast. I call him the godfather of professional wrestling. Everybody in the state knows Eric. Everybody knows Eric. Anybody who's has a promotion, who's ever had a promotion, Eric has always worked for those promotions. Eric has always helped with those promotions. He's also given a lot of people their first start in wrestling in the state of Maine. He gave me my start in wrestling, like officially in Maine. So definitely watch that podcast and start really looking at like MPW, look up IWE, watch those matches because that's the main wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Limitless. So okay, so you mentioned Limitless. What are your thoughts on Limitless?
They're all right. It's just not for me. I'm more of like the indie scene, like indie, not like big like in Maine because they're like the biggest promotion in Maine. So I like to stick with like the indie stuff where it's hardcore, underground wrestling, doing like
Mm,
kind of stupid stuff with wrestling because it's funny to me. It's fun to watch as well.
mhm, mhm. They that's the thing. Limitless when it first came around, even though it had like, and this is some of the biggest names on the independent circuit now, right? So you say you watch more indie. Limitless is indie, which is right, which is quite incredible because
Yeah.
that's pretty big. They're pretty big,
Yeah.
and they're indie because they're not WWE or TNA or
Well, yeah.
not yet, at least. Who knows how far this is gonna go? But Limitless has also given like the jump start to a lot of careers, right? And stars that you see on TV now, a lot of them went through Limitless, but they've also gone to other places. You heard of House of Glory? You've heard of GCW? You've heard of those, right? Like That's all.
Yeah.
That's all indie. That's all indie. And I think the problem nowadays is that somebody mentioned this before, that there isn't any more like indie like us really. I call us the small promotions because it's small, then it's indie, and then there's the major leagues, right? We're
Gotcha.
small. We're at the very bottom tier, which is fine, right? This is fine. Um, and again, the First Sections podcast was saying that independent wrestling is slowed down. It's not the same anymore. But it's because like places like Limitless, House of Glory, GCW, Major League Wrestling, the list goes on and on, where those really good wrestlers from those places are being signed
Yeah.
and then leaving. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what everybody in those promotions wants to do. They all want to get signed to the big boy companies. Us, where we're at, I'm okay with just doing this seasonal, right?
Yeah. Same here.
4 or 5 shows a month, and I'm happy, right? I'm happy. Um, we're just on different levels, like Samuel Matthews said. We're at different levels of professional wrestling. Where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself on one of those like you're happy just kind of being here and working like the smaller promotions like MPW and Crown Domain Wrestling, or do you think long term you would want to kind of build your way up to places like Limitless, like GCW?
I mean, I honestly like keeping it just like the smaller wrestling companies because I just like to here and there just doing it over than just always having to like perfect and be perfect for the TV screen and be up there.
I'm right there with you, and I know that a lot of us are okay with that. We're okay with we're just doing this the way we're doing it and just having fun with it, and then maybe Crown could become something for us in northern
Yeah.
Maine, and I would be happy with that, and I'm sure and Mike and Amanda would be happy with that as well. Like
Oh
if we
yeah.
just became something for the county, they're happy, right? They're super happy. We don't have to take over the state. We don't have to be talked about on wrestling magazines or whatever the case it is. We're just happy to put on a show for us
Yeah.
up here. So that's you fit right in with when we say things like that. Like we're good with just doing this here. Um, there are some people that want more, and they're trying to get more. That's great, but at that point, it has to become it's your lifestyle. At that point,
Yeah.
it's your lifestyle, man, and you don't stop trying to get bookings and promote yourself out there and travel out of state or into Canada or whatever the case it is, um, like that. So Dirty Dogs. Thank you for telling me the story because that makes perfect sense the way you put it together. Because I was always like Dirty Dog. Like, what the hell does that come from? Tell us about Dirty Dog. Tell us about Dirty Dog JB.
Like as in who I am or like gimmick.
Tell us about your gimmick. How's Dirty Dog?
Well, honestly, I I don't really know where it's going right now, especially with what's happening with the next show, which I can't say anything about. It's going to be a surprise. I hope everybody's going to be shocked about it, but I was kind of basing it off to be like a big guy heel, like similar to how Braun Strowman's a big guy and Jacob Fatu is like a big powerhouse as well. That's kind of what I was basing off of his like big built guys,
Mm,
and then just dominate people.
okay. Um, that's gonna come with time, right?
Yeah,
Because for a new person coming into the business and just starting training, that dominating people stuff, that's later on, right?
yeah,
We're gonna build. You got to build up to that, absolutely. But you got to take your bumps, right? You got to take your bumps. You got to
for
take
sure.
your beatings.
Yeah,
I've lost way more matches than I've ever won in my entire career, right? And I've learned a lot more from those losses than I would learn from any win that I have under my belt. And that's one thing that um, again, we talked to Samuel Matthews about that, and I'll ask you the question: do you think in professional wrestling that wins and losses matter?
honestly, I don't really think you winning or you losing matters. It's just how well you performed and how well you guys work together to put on that show. Like me personally, I wouldn't care if I lost or won, as long as I'm putting on a good show and performing well, and the other people love it and the crowd loves it. I'm okay with it.
Mm. I used to at one point be upset. I would go to IWE and Eric would have me lose to some random character put together. And I understand. At the time, I would I would do the job. I'd do my job.
Yeah,
And do whatever, and try, like you said, try to have the best match I could to entertain the fans. But deep down, man, I was just like, this is bullshit. I travel all the way down here, and first off, I don't even get a real opponent. I get a call. I got a created wrestler, just randomly put together, and I got to lose to this person, and I'm not happy about it. But
yeah,
as time went on, I started to understand that he's just putting me through the paces, right?
yeah,
Like let's get this guy out here. Okay, if let's see if it'll work. I'll give him this ridiculous character to take on and see how he handles that. To see how he accepts having to lose against this made up character, right? And then for me to be able to show him that I can work by working these creative characters, um, without telling me, he was testing me, right? That's the way I learned later on that maybe that's what he was
yeah.
doing, and I accepted that. I wish that I would have gone downstate a lot more. Um, I heard about IWE a little later. I think it was 2007, 2008. And I just couldn't make the shows. They were doing shows every month, or every other month, but like all year, and I just couldn't make the shows as often as I wanted to. But I did make some shows, and I trying to build a relationship with Eric, and I met a lot of the guys that are there still now to this day. Um, but I'm part of the old guys now. I'm the same age
Yeah.
as Eric, right? I'm the same age. We're old guys, and seeing you guys coming in to train and to kind of carry on the legacy of professional wrestling is amazing. So maybe I could ask you about that. Do you think, because Eric was like, wrestling's changed. I don't know if you saw the clip today that I posted for the
Yeah.
podcast. Eric was like, it isn't wrestling anymore. It's a stunt show. What are your thoughts of that? What do you think about that?
I honestly agree with him that it has become a stunt show where even the heels are trying to outperform everything, and then the way they do it is gets them that pop instead of that heel feel. And compared to the face doing stuff like that, and then they say they do it a little bit less, they're going to get less of a face pop instead. I feel like it's definitely changed, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's what he was saying, and he said, look at it, and man, when that comes out, you take a look at how serious it got from where he stands in professional wrestling. He's like you say, he says he's old school. He's more about like putting on a good show, not putting on a good show for the fans, but like having like the fans get more involved with the show,
yeah,
right? That the difference between what we do and the professionals is the professionals are doing it for the camera, right? For the people who aren't there, and
yeah,
we're doing it for the people that are there, right? So that's what he says about it's changing, and I think wrestling's for everybody. There's different styles and like music, like Archer said, different styles of professional wrestling. Um, Limitless has the future of professional wrestling. They do. Alec Price, who just got signed over to AEW, right, with Jordan Oliver, which I never heard of. He kind of just, I don't know. He came around like as if they were together this whole time, and maybe they have been, but I don't follow him like that. I thought Alec was just his own guy, but yeah. Anyways, so we got that. We got Dirty Dog. We talked about that. Talked about your training. Excited for this year.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm really excited.
I'm pretty excited. They Mike and Amanda have gone through so much, and we haven't even had our first show this year. And
Yeah,
it's they're getting like the real uncut raw like wrestling business thrown in their face, and they're having to like bob and weave and handle it, and they're doing all right. They're doing better. They're doing better. Um,
yeah,
they're doing better. We've seen promotions up here come and go so often, and we're hoping the best for Crowd Man this time around to really outlast those other ones and to really
Oh
big things. Do big things. What are you most excited for this year for Crown of Maine?
yeah. Honestly, the way the storyline's gonna go. I'm really excited for, honestly, Alan Prophet storyline and some of the under storylines like DL Santos' storyline.
Mm,
I really like that one.
awesome. Yeah, that's I think that's going to separate us this year than any other year for Crown of Maine is that we have some good stories that we're putting together for the
Yeah,
guys, and hopefully that's going to draw the crowd from one show to the next show to the next show to the on and on. It's and that's another thing you get to see because we have these meetings at your house, right?
yeah,
And we're all there and we're all putting our heads together and everybody's bringing ideas and try to. That's another part of wrestling when I said that. Where Eric said if you will become a part of it, it's going to ruin wrestling for you. But you get to see that side of things. What are your thoughts on that side of the business, being behind the scenes and seeing how things are being laid out and put together?
honestly, I think it's really cool to see how we all have our ideas and then put them together and then help create one big idea that will work for all of us and work out amazingly.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what kind of separates us from other wrestling companies is we all have our ideas put together and then we try to come up with one big great idea that we can use all of them at.
One thing I really enjoy about everyone is that if the idea doesn't seem to work, then we question it. But what about how does that happen, or how does that happen, or why does that happen, or and we're okay with being like I don't think that's gonna work, and like
Yeah.
we're really good at communicating and talking with each other, and and nobody gets um upset about it, right?
Yeah.
Because we leave it all on the table, we leave it all right there, and then we go on and we start to work on sponsorships and the next venue and so on and so forth. So this is my first time really hands on behind the scenes with the creative part of it. And I think
Yeah.
that what we're doing right now is something that small promotions like us have been missing is those stories. I don't think that
Yes.
a lot of us have it in us to be able to just sell ourselves with just wrestling. I think a lot of us are good. I do. I think a lot of us are good, but I don't think a lot of us are great to where just we could just survive on wrestling, right?
Yeah.
So these stories help out. These stories to get the crowd to cheer for to cheer White Holiday or to boo the Dirty Dog. Now we're giving them reasons to
Yeah.
instead of them trying to figure out is this a good guy or is this a bad guy? Do I cheer this guy or do I boo him? Right now we're giving them reasons to boo you. We're giving them reasons to
Yeah.
cheer for White Holiday and man, dude, one. So you've seen this at the shows. You see this at every show. I don't really like it, but I can explain. Okay, and it is when the friends and family of ours are in the crowd and they are like really forcing the cheers or the boos for the guy for us, right? And so the
Yeah.
crowd can kind of follow along, but you can always tell they're friends or family of the workers. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're just the boos. They're just really hitting boo as soon as they come out, and like everybody else doesn't have a fucking clue who Santos
Yeah.
is yet, right? There's got people booing them. They're like, oh, we're supposed to boo him. Okay, I think sometimes they should kind of lay off a little bit, and let the crowd, let the workers work to get that genuinely.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Especially when we were downstate at an MPW show and Ray and Vaughn were wrestling and as soon as they come out, all of us just instantly booed and then that created the crowd to realize that they're bad. But I feel like it should have been as they should have worked to make the crowd hate
Mm,
them.
yeah, so you get what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it's helpful that we do that, but it could be overwhelming at
Oh, for sure.
times,
Yeah.
right? Like thank you for like trying to help, but let me try to get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Let me try to get it, and maybe that's something that I could bring up to the team and see if we can let everybody know, hey, like bring it down, let the crowd figure that out. Like let them like or not like someone, right? Plus, it's our job to either have them boo me or have them cheer me, right?
Yeah.
So
It's how you work.
let me work is what I'm saying. Let me work.
Yeah.
Um, and that's where the stories are gonna come in. And again, we're gonna give them a reason to cheer or to boo,
Yeah.
which is gonna separate, which is already gonna be, which already separates us from what Crowd May Wrestling was. Crowd May, we did have like a story or two, if you will, like here and there, but nothing to where the crowd, firstly understood, first of all,
Yeah.
and now we have good stories are gonna be easy to understand. Um, and I just really hope that it plays out the way, excuse me, we envision it, right?
Especially for Shocktober.
Especially after, right? Especially after that, and that was a good example of having a story that. So we had the story was Wyatt Holiday and Lucha Kid had the interview with Tommy, right? So the crowd saw, oh, these
Yeah.
are their father. This is father and son. Oh, they're the good guys. Hey, oh, here comes the evil villain, Adam Prophet. Join me. Screw you. Blah blah blah. Right, all that good stuff. So okay, that's the bad guy. So we made that known right from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So later on, Wyatt Holiday comes out, has the Jason Maverick, nearly blows the fucking roof off the building when he wins that match against Jason Maverick. Holy shit, that was a huge pop. Um, and they didn't even see Maverick before the match. They saw Maverick. They saw maybe
Yeah.
on Facebook, right? The little
Yeah.
situation we had, but they didn't see Maverick until the match, and they didn't care. They were all about Wyatt. Oh, Wyatt, because of what we built earlier. Same thing with Lucha, right? He came out later on, and then the turning when Lucha turned on Wyatt Holiday, the freaking room just
Silence. Just.
jaws were hit. You could hear the jaws
Yeah.
boom boom in the ground, and that didn't come from just them wrestling. That's the story that we put together
Yeah.
and put it out there first, and then they were like, okay, Lucha Kid, that's our guy. But then when he did what he did, oh my heart, that's what a story can do.
Yeah.
That's what a story can do, and I'm happy that we get more into stories like that. So
Yeah.
and I feel based on Shocktober, I randomly have a sock in my hand. My desk is full of so much crap, dude. But I think that some people from Fort Fairfield who watched that last show will come to this show.
I really hope so. I think they will too.
I hope so. And I don't think we have any we'll talk about postering and whatnot, but I hope that those people that saw that turn come to the show because that's
Yeah.
the story continues. The story continues. Fucking dude, I'm excited right now. I'm freaking excited, dude. I'm excited, and you're gonna have a part in something in this show coming up, and this year that involves yourself and it involves some other people. How are you excited? Obviously, you're excited. You're super excited about it. And the way the story is already kind of playing out already in your head. How's it looking?
Honestly, I'm a bit nervous, but I am really excited at the same time. Especially with how this upcoming show is going to go. I really want to hear how this crowd is just going to feel about what happens, and then just see everybody's reaction, hear what the back has to say about it, get people's opinions, and then work from that, and then just do whatever I can to make it better throughout the whole year.
Absolutely.
It's really intriguing.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that. Like you wanted to get feedback on how things went. Please be open minded. Please listen to feedback. You don't have to accept everything, but at least hear everything. Especially me, like if I go to you over something that I feel like you could have done better at, like don't take offense to it. Like let that help build you up, right? Make you better. Because nobody who's in our locker room is gonna say things to each other to put us down. We're saying things to help build us up, right?
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind because I know that sometimes things can feel like it's coming from a bad place, but it's never coming from a bad place. We're trying to, especially you being new, and we want you to we want you to be safe. B, we want you to continue with your trainings and your bumps and studying film. But also, if you do something in the ring and we talk to you in the back, please be open-minded. Again, we're not talking to you as to hurt you. We're talking to try to makes you better.
Yeah.
Right. Make you better. And that's this is what I would say to anybody that's just coming into the business, because a lot of people are gonna pull you aside and be, hey, JB, when you did that, like that didn't look good. Try next time, do like wrap his arm around this way, and I'm saying like we're gonna try to help you. No matter how long you've been in the business, you're always gonna get somebody who wants to give you just a little bit of feedback, constructive criticism, so you can get better and better and better and better. Okay,
Yeah,
so just
which I've learned to take all of that in from football as well and other sports
mm,
I've played because it helps you get better, helps you perform better, work better, think better, do everything the best of your ability.
mm. No, that's right. I almost forgot you coming from football. And football is I love football. Like I love playing it. I love playing football. But since you mentioned
Yeah.
that about it's kind of like football, what is one thing in football? What is one thing in football that you needed to work on that somebody might have given you some feedback on and helped you get better at?
Honestly, it was my blocking and tackling at first. Like my tackling at first, I wasn't like I don't know how to describe it, but like getting in the motion correctly and placing my feet correctly. But then I started getting criticism from my coach and everything, which helped me get better and think how to do it better, along with blocking, that especially.
What about blocking though? What was it that you need some help on?
Coming up from from a 3 point stance and then coming up like this and trying to get my feet set correctly,
Mm.
and then if it's a pass block, like kick stepping backwards, making sure my feet are in the right places and how I'm kick stepping.
All right, yeah, yeah. That's what you were saying. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I was catching that
Yeah,
correctly. Um, love football, love football. So that's cool. That and maybe it's a easy transition because we know a lot of professional wrestlers and the big boys that have transitioned from
yeah.
football to wrestling. Right, Roman Reigns was one of them. Goldberg is one of them. Was Brock Lesnar in football? I think Brock Lesnar was in football.
Yeah, he played for the Vikings.
Played for the Vikings. Right. So there's plenty of people that played. The Rock was playing. But
Braun
he played. He
Breaker.
Brock. See, it seems to be a good transition from football to professional wrestling. So that's you definitely got it, and that makes you coachable as well because that's another thing you got to
Yeah,
be in this business. This is not you can't be about yourself. Like this isn't a me business, right?
yeah. It's
Um,
everybody.
well, when I say that, I say that to a point because when it comes to booking, promoting, merchandise, character, like all that, that's the me business, right?
Yeah,
But you need other people to help build you. You can't just go from being on the streets to getting booked, right? You need people, right? So keep that in mind. And
especially
promotions talk. So
keeping people safe in the ring too. That also you have to think about everybody and not just yourself, so you don't accidentally hurt somebody or do something and mess everything up.
yeah, you're putting other people's essentially their life in your hands, right?
Yes.
So if they don't want to work you because you've been working only a year, you can't really take offense to that because this is this guy's life. He got a wife, he got kids, he got to work tomorrow. Like, if you don't trust to be in a ring with you, then you can't get upset at that, right? You got to respect
Yeah.
that and be like, you know what, you're right. You got it. Um, I should probably ask a little bit more questions to my opponent before I just throw myself at them. But luckily, they've come up from Eric. They've come up from working at the dojo and all that. So I'm not worried about them. But I think when I first met them, I should have asked some questions.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, here's my body, do what you will. You know what I'm saying? Like that was really, but luckily it turned out really well. And I look forward to having them come up here. Who's one of your favorite guys that comes up here that we book from down south?
Uh, Personally, Alan Profit, because me and him are like really good friends. We always play like video games together and stuff. And he's also a really good wrestler. But other than someone I'm like necessarily friends with, I'd say I really like Big Raf or K Bar.
Okay.
K Bar, I like his style, how he's like an MMA fighter, and I like Big Raf, how I don't know, it's just like his moveset's decent. I like how he's just like just some random guy that just beats the shit out of people.
He's a pretty big guy though. He got some,
Yeah.
he's not a little guy. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. You know who else is a big boy? Big Cat. Tyler
Oh
Adams.
yeah.
Dude, I didn't realize how big he actually was. until I saw him in person. I was like, holy shit, like, this is a big guy. So big, not so tall, but like, and not like fat either, but like he's like a
Yeah, he's just
solid.
like, yeah,
Holy
he's like
smokes,
a
dude.
damn brick wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a man. I don't know. Like he could be. Maybe I could have a conversation with him and turn his because I don't think he quite has a gimmick like that.
Yeah.
Just yeah. I think he's still trying to find himself, but he should definitely be like in a singlet. Like I don't know, just look like I don't know how to explain it, dude. But maybe you get what I'm trying to say here. But he should be a big like a monster. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, like get rid of the colors and the tassels and the dancing and the get rid of that shit, bro. Be a beast. You know? Be a beast. Cause he got the size for sure.
Oh
He
yeah.
got the size for sure. Dylan Nix is another one that at first when he was first around, I was just like, I don't know how I feel about this guy. I don't know how I feel about this guy. And the more and more I see him on the podcast with Tyler, and the more and more we have him booked up here, I'm kind of like, I'm starting to like this guy. Yeah, I'm starting to like this guy. Joey, everybody loves Joey when he comes up here. Joey Nails. So, fan of Joey Nails. I'm a fan of everybody that comes up here. There's not one person that I'm looking at like, oh God. And if I did,
Yeah.
I would say something. But
Yeah.
um, everyone's been great, and I'm looking forward for them to come up. And JP is another big guy. He's tall
Oh yeah.
and a big guy. You know what I'm saying? So he does the hardcore stuff. What about that, Dirty Dog? Would you see yourself ever doing some sort of like hardcore stuff like JP? Well, JP does like he's down to like deathmatch. Are you down with the deathmatch?
Yeah. Honestly, I love hardcore, and I would be down for a death match. Um, uh, before I like started training and stuff, one of the first shows we went to, there was a hardcore show, and I look at my dad, and I was like, I would definitely do this. Put me through a TV, please. And then training and stuff. Honestly, I would really like to do a hardcore match. Talking to him about it and everything. Me and him have a little plan if we have a certain match that something's gonna happen to do with that.
I have to clear the air for a moment here because there's a hardcore match, and then there's death match.
Yeah.
Okay, so you say you would do a hardcore match. Would you do a death match? Think about it. You know what a death match is? You've seen death matches.
New Jack.
Those are more hardcore matches.
Really?
Yeah. And
I mean, I think it was.
anybody who listens to this, if me saying that New Jack is hardcore, just hardcore and not deathmatch, and you say that if you think that I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. But I think New Jack is just a hardcore wrestler, not a deathmatch wrestler. So back to you. Would you do New Jack? To me, again, it's not deathmatch, bro. Think about it.
I honestly, I think the highest I would probably go is New Jack type of wrestling,
Okay.
type of hardcore.
I mean, he's to
If
stab people.
that's still hardcore, I'd keep it there.
Okay, yeah, let's keep it there. What about okay? So let me ask some things. Pizza cutter to the forehead. No, fork
Well,
fork to the forehead.
yeah.
Okay. Light bulbs, fluorescent light tubes.
No, because I'm not trying to breathe that in.
Okay.
That is something I'm worried about.
Okay, that's valid. That's valid. Barbed wire, actual barbed wire, not clipped off, actual barbed wire. Would you take a spill on that? Thumbtacks. We do thumbtacks.
Thumbtacks and barbed wire, yeah, why not?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I could do some. I think so too. To be honest, barbed wire, I'm not sure, but thumbtacks I would take because
Yeah.
I've never worked with barbed wire. I've worked with thumbtacks in the past, so I already know what to kind of expect. But barbed wire I've never really worked with, so I don't know what to expect. So I'd be a little iffy with that.
I hate thumbtacks though. After the match, when they're stuck in the ring and you have to clean them up, that's just horrible.
Yeah, hey JP, if you see this, no more thumbtacks up here, my man. Bring all the Legos you want.
Lego. Yeah.
Yeah, bring all the Legos you want. We're done cleaning up the damn ring at intermission. make sure all the all the thumbtacks our referee is tap dancing because he has all the tacks on the bottom of his shoes, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not doing that no more. The cleanup was a bitch, so we ain't doing that no more. But you can still do the other hardcore stuff. It's they say that they sometimes they say that people who do hardcore matches don't know how to work. I disagree. I say that people who specialize in hardcore matches, maybe know how to work more, right? Because
Yeah.
you want to talk about just take away the weapons and everything. You already have somebody's life in your hands, somebody's health in your hands. Now add weapons and tacks and blades and knives and everything. That that's a high risk, and I think it takes a person who knows how to take care of the other person even better. I think it takes a special person to be able to do those matches and to take care of their opponent at the same
Oh
time.
yeah.
So crazy, 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 crazy. I'm like Nick Gage. I'm not a fan of Nick Gage and the death match that he does at all. And that's a conversation for me and JP to have if I ever get him on the podcast. I'm not a fan of deathmatch at all. I think it's too much. I think hardcore, like you said, it's a good level of hardcore to get in there.
Yeah.
But anything after that, bro, like everybody's bleeding in the match and fucking. I saw a clip of Matt Tremont, which is like JP's idol, Matt Tremont, a deathmatch guy, taking on Brick Savage, who I mentioned, and he was like cutting him up with like a fork to the forehead, and they were both bleeding, and Matt takes his hand and wipes the blood off of Brick's forehead, and then licks his fucking hand with the blood in his hands. And I'm like, oh no,
I could never. That's just
no.
disgusting.
Yo, that is wild. That's too much. That is you sick fuck. You sick fuck. Right? Is
You
that?
sick fuck.
Oh my goodness. That is a wild, wild type of match, man. I mean, for anybody who does it, no, I mean, power to you, man. It takes a special kind of
Yeah.
person. It really does. But we're just gonna keep it at hardcore. Just a hardcore match, man. Fuck. That's it. I'll take a couple bumps on a ladder or some chair shots and tacks, but damn, man, I can't do that blood. Anything with blood, I can't do. You saw the situation that happened with with the referee at OVW taking that bump,
Yeah.
getting cross-bodied on his head and going into a seizure, and there was a whole big thing over it. OVW and Al Snow all had to make statements and all that. What did you think about the way that went down? That we all know the match continued, and the guy's having a
Yeah.
seizure there. What's your thoughts on that?
The fact that they just straight up kicked him out of the way, and you can clearly tell that he is not selling anymore when he stiffens up and starts shaking a bit. You can tell he's actually having a seizure. I feel like they were too worried about how they're looking personally to even care about the ref. And I honestly agree with what Thomas said about the take care of everybody included in the ring, including the ref, because obviously you're giving him a bump, so he's got to be taken care of.
Yeah, Tommy J. I said that was probably one of the most mature things I've heard from a trainee, from a rookie, that I've ever heard from any other trainee. I was like, that is the
Yeah,
most mature thing I've ever heard, and he made me think about it too. I was like, wow, I never thought it. Like I of course, I haven't put a referee in a position like that. First of all, I've never seen a referee take a ref bump from a top rope crossbody onto, you know what I mean? Like I've never seen that
yeah,
either. Usually it's just simple shit, right? It's a
yeah, like a
simple
super
bump,
kick or just like a punch,
a
a
punch.
belt.
Maybe he gets kicked in the head by the guy who's spinning the other guy on the shoulder, like something
Yeah,
small. Maybe this guy take a crossbody off the top rope and gets his head slammed in. But I never thought of that. Like the referee is a part of the match, and we should take care of the ref as well. So when Tommy said that, I'm like, holy shit! Like now I'm thinking like that, right? So much, in fact, that I don't think that, at least for us, I don't think we should do any ref bumps. what do you
yeah.
what do you think about that?
I mean, depending on like the level of that ref bump, like that crossbody, I would say no to. But like the super kick that DL did on Mo, that was all right. That was fine. But like just absolutely whacking him or coming out with the top of the rope or something like that. I'm not a fan of that towards the ref.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. Depending on the severity of what you want them to take,
Yeah.
all referee bumps should be approved first. I'm sure it was, but I was like, damn, bro, a crossbody? Like, this guy's a referee for a reason, right? Like, why are you having him take crossbodies off the top rope, bro? Like, holy smokes. But
And I remember we had an incident up here where we had like those poppets on that bat. I can't remember what match it was or who it was, but somebody swung it at somebody and it popped and it got in one of the ref's eye. So we had to take him out and then send another ref in. But we were there for that ref. We took care of him and got him out of there the best we could.
that's right. I remember that.
That's right. I remember that.
Again, that's JP.
Yeah.
JP. Yeah. And he toughed it out. He toughed it out as much as he could. But you saw that, man. He was in pain, man. He was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, it popped in his eye, like it went in his eye. So he toughed it out. I wish I could remember his name so I could give him a shout out, but yeah, that did happen. So we'll be more cautious of our referees and have our boys check on the ref. But we also need to really put down like the ref should. You ever see somebody take a bump in the ring and the referee not check on the wrestler, and you'd be like, "Yo, go check on him, bro."
Yeah.
Right? Dangerous. Like, we got to make sure we're helping each other here. We're on the same team. We're not trying to really kill each other. So like, we're gonna really put out the safety part of this, and really stress that out for these shows for Crown of Man coming up, so everybody's safe. And if somebody gets hurt, we act as quickly as we can to make sure that they're safe, and we can get them taken care
Yeah.
of. So
Because
Bam,
Greg Valentino,
hmm
Mo, Toby, they always instantly check on those wrestlers.
yeah,
They always are there to make sure that they are okay.
yep. Now we have those earpieces for the refs now.
Yep.
So I make sure to tell him to check on them, tell him to check. So
Yeah.
I'm yelling at Cassandra to tell the referee to check on White or whoever, check on him. So we're very serious when it comes to safety for our guys. So that's
Yeah.
another thing for Crown. Crown is we care about the safety and well being of our talent, and that's including the referees. So clip that, ship that for everyone to hear. So we're coming up on our hour here. So I typically just keep a nice little hour for conversation, not too long, not too short. So before we go here, again, I don't like to do socials at all. So if you can take this time to, as somebody who's new to the business, who can maybe give some information, some inspirational, some motivation to people who are thinking about joining or those who just joined, some inspirational, motivational things you could share with them in joining the business.
If you are in contact with like somebody that you know that wrestles and you like want to wrestle and love wrestling, I'd say message that person, try to get in contact and get into it. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. And I have something else that's not necessarily motivational for wrestling, but motivational for like people themselves. If you are struggling mentally and if you ever need help, please contact somebody. Always contact somebody. Don't ever think that you need to take your life or anything.
Thank you very much, JB. I appreciate that. No one has said that before, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there who may feel alone and feel like there's nobody to talk to. So I appreciate you mentioning that for our listeners here today. Big year for Crown of Main Wrestling, April 4th in Van Buren, and we're ready to rock and roll. And JB is gonna be a part of that, and we're excited to have JB be a part of that. So that's JB. I'm Lewis, and this has been the Beyond the Crown podcast. See ya.